T&D Sports, an exclusive video broadcast.
T&D Sports Video presents High School Lacrosse, brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group. Today, it's the Buccaneers of Islip High School visiting the pride of East Islip. Hi, everyone. Welcome to East Islip High School right here in Islip Terrace, New York, for our coverage of T&D Sports Video, High School Boys Lacrosse. My name is Mike Trezza, joined by former Comac and Oyster Bay coach Charlie Rizzuto. And Charlie, let's talk about this Islip team for a second. It's a team that's well-balanced, a team that's athletic, but they want to keep the scoring down here and maybe try to hold East Islip to single digits in this game, if that's at all possible.
For sure, Islip's a super athletic team, well-coached, high-skilled team. But, yeah, they want us to play slow, right, offensively, bleed the shot clock a little bit, keep the game close, keep the game in the single digits if possible. And defensively, they want to maintain matchup integrity so they could prevent East Islip from getting out and running.
And one of those kids on the defensive end that's going to be responsible for trying to help keep the score down is one of their main defensemen. You see him on your screen, number 23, Eric Heimlich.
Yeah, Eric's headed to Bryant, right? He's a strong defenseman. He's a smart defenseman. But for a big, strong kid, he also has really good feet. He's able to match feet and play with his feet underneath him. Could throw checks if needed, but he'll probably draw the best matchup today. And in transition, he could get out and run with 4 goals on the season so far.
For East Islip, they come in with a 9-2 mark in the league, 10-3 overall. You see their roster on your screen, a high-powered offense, Charlie, and a really balanced attack on the offensive end.
Yeah, balanced offense for sure. East Islip wants to get out and run, try to generate some early offense, take advantage of early matchups if they can. They want to play East Islip brand of lacrosse, which is playing fast, clearing and riding with efficiency, and they're going to try their best at the face-off X today against a good matchup.
And one of the kids that's going to be prominent on both sides of the field for them is kind of a throwback midi, sort of a do-it-all midi as he's described by his coach, and that is number 24, Ryan Parker.
Yeah, he's a great two-way midi. Coach Zumo loves those type of kids. He's headed to Rutgers. He's a do-it-all, in-between-the-lines type of kid. But when you talk about what he could do on the offensive side of the ball, he's got 22 goals, 29 assists for 51 points. He could absolutely put the ball in the back of the net and make plays off ball as well.
And obviously, Charlie, we're going to be highlighting, at least through most of the early part of the game, the familiarity factor. Both these coaching staffs know each other really, really well. They're both familiar with all these kids on both teams for a long time now.
Yeah, they know each other well. A lot of respect between the programs, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out.
We'll be back with the opening face-off and all the action right after this. You're watching Boys Lacrosse, brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group, right here on T&D Sports.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000-square-foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LISports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Experience, trusted, proven, excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production, the industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
I mentioned it in our opening, Charlie, the coaching matchup. These two guys know each other really, really well. For Islip, it's Keith Scheidel, and here at East Islip, of course, Tom Zumo.
Yeah, these two coaches know each other really well, right? Coach Zumo for East Islip actually played for Coach Seidel when he was a lacrosse player here at Islip. He was on his staff, right? Coach Seidel is one of the most well-respected coaches on Long Island. He has a state championship under his belt, and you know they don't just hand those things out, right? You got to go earn it, and he's one of the few that has one to his name.
Let's take a look at our goalie matchup for Islip. It's going to be number 10, Mikey Vitale. And, of course, here at East Islip, it is a top 10 player, number 16, Drew Walendowski.
Yeah, I'm excited for this individual matchup today, right? Mikey Vitale, right, he's the heart and soul of this team. You know, according to his coach, he's got 127 saves on the year. Vocal leader headed to Mercy. And Walendowski, like you said, he's one of the top 10 goalies on Long Island, according to Newsday, headed to Villanova. I'm excited to see what the two of them can do today.
Jim Vignona is our lead official. He's out there along with Dan Backety and John Perugini, so the three of them will be handling the action on the field. And in the face-off circle, Charlie, it's going to be Dylan Smith for Islip going up against Chase Canfora, a big-time face-off guy here at East Islip.
Yeah, Canfora is 68% on the season, headed to Western Connecticut, right? And Dylan Smith is 2 wins away from his 200th face-off win, headed to Stony Brook. This is going to be one of those games within the game today to maintain some possession and win the time of possession battle.
Just about set for the opening face-off from here at East Islip. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto on hand to bring you all the action. We are underway. Ball pops up in the air, and it's controlled by Smith for Islip. Islip in the black moves right to left here in the first.
Yeah, great job there by Dylan, right? Maintaining some poise when the ball popped out, running away from pressure, keeping the stick protected, getting it down to the attack. Islip going through their sub-patterns.
They'll get it to Jack Halpin in the middle of the field. Halpin, one of several guys named Jack on offense for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Jack's aplenty on the Islip team.
Halpin starts to make the move, gets it behind. Now around the circle. Good defense by East Islip. Couldn't get the shot away. Now it comes back outside.
Flag down.
We've got our first penalty call of the game.
Yeah, Jake inverts there. DeGennaro goes behind the goal, dodges out the right side. Right, East Islip sends help. Looks like we have a hold on East Islip, so Islip's going to go up one for 30 seconds here.
We mentioned the contrast in styles and the different paces at which the two teams want to play, Charlie.
Yeah, so Islip wants to slow it down a little bit, right? Use the shot clock. East Islip wants to play fast, push early offense. But both teams want to maintain their matchups and try not to slide as much as possible defensively.
So Islip, along with the man up, gets an extra 60 on the shot clock. They work it outside. Now it goes out to DeGennaro. Finds a cutter on the run. That's Travato. He gets it back outside. Nice feed inside. Turn and fire and score. Travato.
Yeah, Travato with the finish. And what we were just talking about, right, the patience and the poise of Islip offensively, you just saw it on display, right? They swing the ball to the right side. Travato comes up the hash. You'll see him appear right here, comes up the hash, uses his whole body, generates a lot of torque, gets his back hip into the shot, puts it right underneath the crossbar. That's the way Islip wanted to start this game for sure.
Same two in the face-off circle, but this time it's Canfora. He'll shoot himself, and his shot goes wide.
Yeah, there's the green light for East Islip, right? Early offense, face-off guy punches it forward, exits forward, has space, just missed the goal.
East Islip stays on offense. It's going to be Sean Hannigan who plays at an X. There's a shot and a score from Bernardos.
Yeah, good cutoff ball by Bernardos. But as we watch the replay here, you can see Connor McEntee pushing that left side, left-handed, right? Head up, chin on his shoulder, eyes to the inside. Finds Bernardos on a nice seam cut right there. Tucks the stick so he doesn't get checked by Heimlich. Puts it to that backside post.
Bernardo's headed to Sacred Heart next year. Has just tied the score at 1. 10-14 left in the opening quarter. Smith and Canfora once again will go to work. Smith trying to get low, and he wins the faceoff, but quickly, ball's still loose, and now ground ball from Islip.
Yeah, it's a good job tracking the ball, getting it back to your goalie to settle the clear.
Callahan Zusi was the player who scooped it up. We've got a flag coming in on that far side. His play got a little rough there.
Yeah, Brady Nash taking the ball up the sideline, right? He's a football player, quarterback, all-state football player. Doesn't mind playing physical. It was Zussi picking that ground ball up off the faceoff. I don't believe there was any possession or any release prior to that, so I think that's Dylan Smith's 200th faceoff win on the season. So congratulations to Dylan.
So I believe Islip again is going to go on the man up for 30.
Yeah, let's see what they get into here. Right, again, showed a lot of patience last time. Had a nice look inside, right? Pass was a little short, like a one-hopper to the top of the field. I think Travato was looking for DeGennaro before he got the ball back to put it away.
Did you switch it, Dave? Did you switch it? Did you hear it? I heard it, yeah. Again, good movement and good ball movement. That was Whitehouse. Not sure if that was a pass or if that was a shot from Whitehouse.
No, that was a pass, and that was a really good look. East Islip, covering passing lanes well, got a stick on it, knocked it out of bounds. Oh, they're going to give it to East Islip here. I guess they're saying that wasn't deflected.
So the Pride now on offense. It's Mariani who carries it in. Now back to the goalie, Walendowski.
Yeah, Islip in a deep right here, trying to close space in the middle of the field. Great grab.
Turnover, and Rayo has it. Stops, waits for help from Whitehouse. Across the field he goes.
Yeah, and there you could see the difference in styles on display possibly. Islip had no numbers there, so I'm not saying in a similar situation East Islip would have pushed the ball. But Islip definitely going to pull it out, get their guys on the field, and get into a set.
Halpin sends it behind for Whitehouse. Now again around the horn. Spin move, a shot goes wide.
Yeah, Jake DeGennaro has a shorty on the wing there. He's going to press that matchup. No slide, gets his hands free, shoots for that far pipe, right? If you miss the goal there shooting for the far pipe, you expect one of your attackmen to back it up. Right, I've said this before, when you're a shooter, the only thing you don't want is a save, right? Shoot it to that far pipe. Either you score or you miss the goal and your attackman back it up. Jake lets another one fly off the pipe.
Blistering shot from DeGennaro.
Yeah, they're under 30 in the shot clock when he takes that shot, and now they have a reset.
So Islip working their game plan here in the early going.
Yeah, I really like the way they're changing shapes here offensively, too. We've seen a few different things from Islip in terms of how they're setting the field.
Travado, his shot was blocked in front.
Yeah.
But Islip's going to hold on to possession. Ball's knocked around in front. Ground ball by Islip for Whitehouse.
Yeah, I couldn't see the number, but that's a great stick by the East Islip defenseman, covering passing lanes, being active.
Rayo, a couple moves, but loses the ball.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway. Looks like number 9, McCaffrey.
There's a shot by Weiss, one of the defensemen.
Yeah, and there's that early offense, right? Push possession, right? Push the speed, push the pace, hit your point guy, look for the trailer, right? East Islip, similar to like Syracuse if you watch college lacrosse. They don't care if you have a short stick or a long pole. If you're open, they're throwing you the ball, and if you have your hands free, you have the green light to shoot.
Kalinowski gets a touch, sends it outside to Braden Black. There's a bounce shot that goes in from Ryan Parker. We highlighted him.
Yeah, that's a great shot by Parker. I want to see this replay because watching it live, it looks like his body sold high, and he put the ball down off the hip, the inside hip of Vitale. So here you see an alley dodge, great cross-field pass. And, yeah, he stayed up on it a little bit, dropped his hands at the last second, right? Maybe froze Vitale a little bit. Sneaks it inside the near pipe right off of Vitale's hip.
I thought that ball had some spin on it because I thought that the goalie was going to get down and make the save.
Yeah, it looked like it might have had some English on it, kicked back a little bit.
Smith gains possession. He's going to shoot it himself. Nice save, Walendowski. Rebound goes in.
It's a great follow by Rayau. Good save by Walendowski, right? Looked like he kicked that one out off his foot. Right, Dylan Smith pushing. East Islip goes early on the face-off. Smith picks it up and goes, right? Win the whistle, be whistle ready, right? Good alley there, good decision to take the shot. Walendowski kicks it out, but look at this handle by Rayau. Grabs it left-handed, switches back to his right, out of his stick in 2 steps before Walendowski could get reset.
Rayo and Whitehouse came in tied at 33 goals apiece to lead Islip, and it was Rayo with the rebound. He's headed to Hofstra next year.
Yeah, he's going to Hofstra. Whitehouse going to LIU, 2 Division I commits. But that, you're speaking to the balance of this Islip attack, right? A lot of guys scoring, a lot of guys finding each other, getting assists, putting points on the board. It's not just 1 or 2 guys.
We are tied at 2, 6:45 left in the opening quarter of play from here at East Islip High in Islip Terrace, New York. There's a shot that goes high. That one came from Halpin.
Yeah, that's a good rip by Halpin. Just missed. Walendowski maybe a little bit behind on that one. I couldn't tell if he was screened or not, but Halpin puts that one like an inch or 2 over the crossbar.
Islip keeps possession. Good defense by Mariani. Rayo backs up with the ball. Now comes forward, a little spin move, trying to get the shot away he can. Save Walendowski.
And East Islip gets out fast here.
Quick shot and the score, McEntee.
Yeah, Weiss pushes transition, similar to the last goal, right? Just a different pattern for the ball. Weiss pushes transition, finds the point man. Couldn't tell who that was, but he finds McEntee on the backside. Right, has the time and the awareness and the poise and the composure to throw a couple fakes, right? Move the goalie, finish low and away.
McEntee right on the doorstep. Goalie had not much chance on that one.
Yeah, Sean Hannigan on the cross crease feed there. Apologize to Sean and his family for not getting that the first time.
So East Islip goes up 3-2, just under 6 minutes to go here in the first. Again, those same 2 in the face-off circle, Smith and Canfora, they'll be there all night.
Yeah, that's a bet I would place, that we see the 2 of these at just about, if not every face-off.
This time it's Dylan Smith who wins possession. Sends it far side to Gardner. Now back in the middle of the field, Jack Halpin.
Islip being patient. DeGennaro with a shorty.
Islip getting the right people on the field. They get it back to Halpin. He thought about shooting. Instead gives it off to Rayo. Rayo on the move to his right, trying to shake his defender. Tries to center it, and that pass went off the stick of Travato.
Yeah, Travato cuts off that lefty wing, right? Cuts above the set a little bit. They find him. It looks like he was looking to catch, get his hands back, and shoot in one motion. Maybe took his eye off it real quick. Right, East Islip back on offense.
Islip gets done subbing just in time. Now it's Braden Black with possession of the ball. Good D by Islip this time.
Yeah, good D on both those dodges. Right, you saw Brady Nash jam the hip of the first dodger. East Islip retains possession, approaching 30 on the shot.
Braden Black goes to work himself, puts it low, puts it in.
Yeah, Braden Black tests that matchup again. This time he gets a step. And as we'll see on the replay, one of the things I love about this take from Braden Black is that he actually keeps the stick in his left hand. Right, sometimes you'll see, youth level on this split dodge, right, kids get taught to go righty, shoot for that backside bottom bar. Here he keeps it in his left hand because he has the space to do so. And what that does, right, in lacrosse you hear the term that your stick has eyes all the time, right? His stick can see more net when it's in his left hand than when it's in his right hand. Nice bounce shot. That's tough to track for Vitale.
Black, one of those football kids for East Islip, and he's headed to Cortland next year, Charlie.
Yeah, we got a lot of two-sport kids in this game, which is great to see.
Smith has been doing really well on faceoffs. He wins another for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, Dylan could go on runs, right? He could go on runs where he strings together 5, 6, 7, 10 faceoff wins in a row. And if that starts to happen, or if that continues, I should say, curious to see how East Islip might adjust to that.
Islip waiting to get just the right people in the zone. Now Nate James comes in the offensive zone.
Yeah, James and Halpin with the shorties.
As a pick for Halpin. He fires the shot. It goes over the crossbar.
Yeah, attack there to back it up. Looks like Whitehouse is going to inbounds.
East Islip leads 4-2. 3:40 left in the first.
Yeah, Whitehouse on the inbounds. Really smart lacrosse player, like we said before. Division I, commit, headed to LIU. Right, does a lot for this Islip offense, on and off ball.
Halpin far side. Nice dish for Rayo. Rayo is guarded tightly by McCaffrey. That pass won't work. Gets into the neutral zone, and East Islip will take over.
Yeah, Nate James flashes into a pocket there in the East Islip defense. He was there, right, late in the shot clock, though. Right, Islip wanted to try and generate a shot before the shot clock expired. Just kind of missed him.
3 minutes to go in the first. East Islip up by a pair. It's McCaffrey behind the cage.
Good take by McCaffrey. Great save by Mikey Vitale, getting down on that.
Back the other way is Gardner for Islip.
Yeah, no numbers.
Islip again will take their time and set up with Halpin.
Yeah, just about every possession for Islip so far, we've seen the same 6, right? Which later in the game, right, you got to check the attrition, right, fatigue, things of that nature, the depth of your roster. But these 6 guys are getting a really good feel for the East Islip defense and how they're going to attack them.
Halpin guarded by Weiss. Travato, his shot, and Walendowski just got a piece of that.
Yeah, I think that hit the post. I think that hit the corner where the post meets the crossbar. I loved how Travato stepped in, paused a little bit to get his hands free, and then let it fly.
Islip keeps.
Another
Bounce
post
shot off the side of the net.
Islip stepped in the crease after the shot. That's the third pipe for Islip today. Right, they're shooting the ball well. They're getting their hands free. They're playing good offensively.
Under 2 minutes to go in the first. East Islip looking to extend a 2-goal lead. Comes to Bernardos, trying to beat his man. McEntee at X.
It looked like Bernardos wanted to get his shot off there. Maybe a late check or some disruption of his hands denied that shot.
Here's Hannigan, a couple spins. A low shot is blocked in front.
Yeah, that's a great shot by Hannigan, right? Shooting right out of his roll. I couldn't tell if that was blocked in front. I think you're right. Mikey Vitale may have gotten down on that one, but I like that take.
Ryan Parker with possession on the far side sends it back to Bernardos. Bernardos turns and fires as a save.
Great save by Vitale, right? Getting the ball out quick. That's a good take by Bernardos. Maybe he wants to get upfield another yard or two, so when he comes back on that question mark, he has a little more net to see. Here's the save, right? Bernardos pushes up the hash, right? Maybe he wants to get another yard higher just so he has a little bit more net, but Mikey Vitale tracks it the whole way and looks upfield to get the ball out in transition.
We'll take a quick break with East Islip up 4-2.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal. Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Even if you live in Islip, a nice short drive right over here to Islip Terrace, Charlie.
Yeah, good crowd today. I saw some youth players filling the stands. I see, students from both Islip and East Islip, obviously parents and family members here as well. It's always great to play a game on a nice day in front of a big crowd.
These kids pumped up for this rivalry. Oh, we've got a flag coming in on the far side, as I think it was DeGennaro who got roughed up on that play.
Yeah, that's either a hold or a trip. I thought it could have been a hold early, a trip late. Oh, we got two flags. Looks like a hold and a slash.
I think that's going to go on Weiss for East Islip. Check it. It's actually Ryan Parker who's going to get whistled.
Yeah, we're 6-on-5. It's tough to hear the officials. I'm curious if we had two fouls on the same player, because they did motion for a hold and a slash. All right, Islip's going to hold this. So they start the second quarter with possession.
Under 15 seconds to go. Islip, as we mentioned, is just going to let the quarter run out here, down to 5 seconds. And that is going to do it for the first quarter. Our score after 1 quarter of play, East Islip 4, Islip 2, on the Lessings Hospitality Lacrosse game.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal. Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Islip is going to start this second quarter with possession, and they've been doing a good job in the face-off circle.
Yeah, doing a really good job at the face-offs, right? We talked about him a couple times, right? Dylan Smith, I think he's won 6 of the first 7 face-offs to start the game, right? No face-off here because, like you said, Islip held the ball at the end of the first quarter, right? When there's a penalty, when there's a man in the box, when one team's up a player or two, if they hold the ball or if they're in possession of the ball with the ball in a player's stick, when the quarter time expires, they start the next quarter with the ball.
Just underway here, second quarter. East Islip leads Islip 4-2. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto on hand.
Yeah, Islip runs a flip on the corner there. Both players acted like they had the ball.
There's a blistering shot. What a save, Walendowski.
Yeah, it's a great save by Walendowski. Checked behind him to make sure it didn't get through, but he had it, and East Islip pushing.
Billy Bast, I should say, now in there. He runs off. McCaffrey behind the cage gives it off to Hannigan. Hannigan near side. He's got Gardner on him.
Yeah, East Islip still down a player. Islip pushing out a little bit on the ball, not doubling, right? And that's smart right now because the penalty, it's released now. But as the penalty's about to release, you don't want to get overextended. You don't want to double the ball and get caught in a double when the penalty gets released and the man either comes out of the box or comes over the midfield line unchecked.
Heimlich, we mentioned him in the opening, almost had a steal right there. Here's Parker. Parker went airborne. Wow, he got undercut by Gardner.
Yeah, he puts his right shoulder down, right? Make sure that he maintains his line. Puts the stick in his right hand, get a little bit more angle, leaves his feet. That's a good take by Parker. Good defense.
Hannigan was looking for room, couldn't find much. Gets it to X. There's a shot from Bernardo's that sails wide.
Yeah, Bernardo's turns the corner there, goes low to high, using the defender as a screen. Looked like he was trying to hit that near side top corner, that top left corner. Missed the goal. East Islip backs it up.
Gardner, just a freshman, but playing some D out there.
Yeah, he's playing great. Playing physical.
There's Parker with a shot. He scores.
Yeah, I didn't even see the ball go in there. But a few dodges, right? Dodges hard, keeps the stick protected. Want to see the finish here. Right, you see the push up the alley. Right, East Islip skipping the ball well tonight. Right, quick little face dodge. Gets the stick back in his right. Another face dodge. Keeps the stick in his right hand to maintain angle. Right, Vitale goes down. He looks like he just put it over his right shoulder.
Beautiful play by Parker. We talked about him doing it all. He did a lot of it on that play. Puts East Islip up 5-2.
Yeah, that's just a kid running full speed downhill, protecting his stick, getting to the crease, staying composed on the finish. So the ball enters the box there, so even though there's no possession, everyone's released.
Let's see who gets possession on this.
East Islip.
Going East Islip's way with 9:40 left. They lead by 3.
So for those of you watching that might not know the rule, on a face-off, all the attackmen and the defensemen have to stay inside the restraining box until there's possession or until the ball enters the restraining box like we saw there. There was no possession, but the ball rolled into the restraining box, so everybody was released.
We've got a delayed penalty as the East Islip backs it out with Owen Madden, who's now in at attack.
Yeah, Madden in space with Heimlich. Right here you see Heimlich's feet on display.
Madden gives it up.
Yeah, nice check to disrupt the shot.
And now we're going to get that penalty coming in. It's a 1-minute penalty.
Yeah, 1 minute slash. Looks like it might be on DeGennaro. No, maybe not. Oh, looks like it's on Griffin Doring, number 36. So 1 minute slash. East Islip's going to go up.
East Islip, as we mentioned, wants to go fast. Now with a man up, probably even faster.
Yeah, both teams in their last man up running that little flip on the corner.
Parker outside.
Anything to keep a man down, defense on their heels a little bit.
Braden Black gets a touch, and Bernardo's is after it.
Yeah, Bernardo's the inbound here. Let's see if East Islip runs a quick inbounds play man up here off the end line.
Back to Haddock, and he stuffs it in.
Yeah, they didn't run an inbounds play. They just kind of pushed space, saw what they had, played off of what was in front of them. Nothing came to stop the push, right? Carries up the right alley, right? Brings that defenseman Heimlich up with him a little bit, throws back, right? Just pushes space. Nobody comes to pick him up. Puts a 5-hole on Vitale.
6-2 East Islip, 8:42 left in the second.
Yeah, the East Islip offense, right, is shooting with some efficiency right now. Both teams are getting good shots, right? Like we talked about in the first quarter, Islip hit 3 posts. Right, Dylan Smith kicks it to himself.
We'll take a quick step away with East Islip up by 4 goals here on the Lessings Hospitality Lacrosse coverage.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
For more than 40 years, the Post Office Cafe has been a Long Island favorite, known for its juicy burgers, signature cocktails, and welcoming staff. The Post Office is sure to deliver every time. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
(6-2) East Islip, 8:36 left in the second quarter.
Yeah, East Islip coming out of a timeout.
Parker brings it in the zone.
Oh, nice
Loses
check.
the stick and the ball.
Yeah, that's a great check. Zussi gets under the butt end, lifts, pulls it out, knocks the stick out of his hand. All right, so here's the check. You see Zussi, right, approaches the Dodger. Good feet, gets his stick inside his body, underneath his stick, down there by his butt end, lifts, knocks the stick out of his hand.
We talked about Islip State. They're going to have to step it up and try to keep East Islip off the board for most of the rest of the half if they can do that.
Yeah, look, this Islip team, they're tough, they're gritty. They kind of take on the DNA and the identity of their community, right? Like hard-working community, hard-working lacrosse team, no quit, no give up. Down by 4, but I guarantee you that sideline, the kids on the field are unfazed right now. They're just going to keep playing lacrosse and try to chip away at this.
Halpin will stop and wait for Nate James to get on. He's now on. Rayo behind. Good D by East Islip this time.
Yeah, good defense. Good dodge by Jake DeGennaro, right? Got Parker to fall behind the goal, that two-way midi.
Travato can't get the shot off, gives it up far side to Rayo, and Islip's going to keep.
Yeah, that went off an East Islip stick. Travato trying to skip through, right, to Rayo on the backside. Islip's just going to dump it here with the shot clock expiring.
7 minutes left in the second. East Islip up by 4 and going back on offense.
Yeah, you don't want to do anything late in the shot clock that could give your opponent transition, especially a team like East Islip that loves to push transition, right? So Islip dumps it in the corner, right? They get their defensive personnel on the field. Coach Nick Apicella running the box for the Islip Bucks, making sure they got the right guys on.
Turning shot by Hannigan. What a shot as he's falling.
Yeah, that's a great finish. Early offense again for East Islip, right? They got the green light. Right, playing with your eyes up, look inside, catch, turn, shoot, all in one motion. That's really difficult for a goalie to read, really difficult for a goalie to find the ball in that situation, right? So when he's turning and he's got his back to the goal as he comes out of his roll, the head of his stick is hidden, right, which means the ball is hidden. It's really difficult to track. That's a great shot and a great finish by a really good shooter.
Hannigan's second of the evening puts East Islip up 7-2. Madden gets it ahead to Kalinowski. His shot is high and off the mark.
Yep, East Islip again. Don't mean to sound like a broken record, but pushing transition. If you are open in transition and you are on this East Islip team, they are giving you the ball.
Bernardo's a couple moves trying to shake his defender. Now Hannigan gives it off up top to Madden.
A little downtown there by East Islip. Throw down, pick down. Islip maintains matchup integrity, plays through it.
Far side it goes for Braden Black. His shot is off the mark.
Yeah, that shot had some juice on it. That's a great save by Vitale, right? Punches his hand over, gets a head of his stick on that shot. East Islip maintains possession.
And East Islip a little young on the attack, Charlie. A couple sophomores, couple freshmen out there.
Yeah, so you got a couple of freshmen that play attack. Oh, that's
Hannigan's shot almost sneaked in, but great job by Vitale to keep it out of there.
Yeah, that ball was trickling towards the goal line. I don't know if we could get a replay on that. Yeah, here it comes. So this is a good take, right? Eyes up, pump fake on the feed, gets underneath, tries to go 5-hole. Vitale reaches, keeps the ball out of the goal. That's a great heads-up awareness play by the keeper.
And Hannigan split defenders for that shot.
He's going underneath again. Good luck.
There's a goal in front by Connor McEntee.
Yeah, there's one of the freshmen you were talking about, right? His older brother Matt playing at Syracuse right now. That's almost a carbon copy of the last dodge, just in a different spot on the field. Sean Hannigan dodges underneath, keeps his stick protected, but he has his eyes up the entire time, finds McAtee on the backside, quick little pump, finishes opposite, right? You want to change levels on your shots, especially when you're inside. McAtee shows high hands, a really high stick, throws one quick pump, and then finishes down into the goal.
Gardner tried to ride him off the play, but got there just a second late.
Yeah, Hannigan did a good job using his upper frame, right? Using his shoulders to get inside the defender there. And again, keeps his eyes up, looks backside.
This time, Canfora comes away with possession for the Pride. Pride up 8-2.
Yeah, Heimlich showed there to deter the dodge a little bit. I don't know if Parker was going to go or not, but Heimlich showed. Parker pulled it out. East Islip settles into their offense.
Iorardi is in there, number 21. He's got possession.
Inverts the short stick, Nash. Right, Nash, a great athlete, as we talked about earlier. That's a good
Parker
cut.
scores on the run.
Yeah, it's a great cut from the backside by Parker. Looks like that was McEntee on the feed. Yeah, you see the dodge from X there. They invert the short stick, kick it out to the wing. Yep, that's Connor McEntee with his eyes up. Parker, that's just a great flat cut through the defense. Rises up, puts the ball under the crossbar.
We'll step away with East Islip up 9-2 here on the Lessings Hospitality Lacrosse coverage.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
East Islip up 9-2, and they've had some guys with multiple goals.
Yeah, East Islip spreading the ball around, right? Parker's got 3-0, 3 goals, no assists. McEntee 2-2, 2 goals, 2 assists. And Hannigan 2-2, 2 goals, 2 assists.
4.5 left before halftime. East Islip all over Islip in this first half.
Yeah, but I'm going to stick to what I said earlier, right? This Islip team is not going to go away. They're going to fight, and they're going to try to chip away at this. Getting a goal right here would be big, right? Get this to 9-3 with some time left in the second quarter to maybe do some more damage.
Halpin up top. Gets a pick, goes to work. Nate James. There's the shot and there's the save.
Yeah, it's a good save, right? Tracked it the whole way, punched it out to the end line, right? Islip backs it up. They get a reset, which is big.
Walendowski came in with 152 saves on the year.
Yeah, and he's recorded a handful more today. Depending on whether or not the statistician has given those pipes to him as saves, he might have 3 more or 3 less. But that was a good save right there. Second chance possessions, though, right? Islip gets a reset. They back the ball up on the end line. Second chance possessions are tough for a defense against a highly skilled offensive team. So let's see what Islip can do here.
Halpin thought about the shot. Ducks underneath. That shot got deflected in front.
Yeah, DeGennaro there with a little toe drag in traffic. Goes low to high. I think that went off the goalie's helmet and out of bounds, but that's another reset. So there's a lot of defense for East Islip to play. Islip being patient. It's much tougher to play defense than it is to play offense in terms of the wear and tear and the fatigue on your body, right? You're constantly reacting to those around you. DeGennaro up top again with a shorty.
Shot goes wide. That shot came from DeGennaro.
Yep, Islip backs it up. No reset on that one because it didn't touch the frame or the goalie, but 41 on the shot clock, plenty of time.
Travato will send it in. He's got Rizzuto on him.
No relation.
The shot, as he's falling down, came from Travato.
Yeah, I like that take, right? Travato, a left-handed player, shows his right hand there. I don't know if he fell as much as he went super low to try and wrap that around not only the defenseman but the goalie and get the ball to the back post. But I like that decision.
Halpin guarded by Weiss. Good D, East Islip.
Yeah, that is good defense, not overcommitting, right? Whitehouse with a pump fake. Defender didn't bite on it.
Here's a turn and fire. Save, Walendowski.
Good save by Walendowski, pushing the ball out early, right? Jack Whitehouse takes the shot there late in the shot clock, late in the game clock for the quarter also, just trying to create something for his team.
There's a shot. That goes off the side of the pipe from Kalinkowski.
Yeah, Kalinkowski hits the post. I mean, it was early in the shot clock, so not much of it expired, but they get a reset. McEntee inbounding.
Kalinowski, I should say. Now I've got you pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, don't do that to me. I take your lead too much.
Kalinowski headed to Stony Brook, though, next year. As we're under 2 minutes to play in this first half. East Islip, this possession will take their time.
Yeah, they're slowing it down now, right? Playing the clock. You got 34 in the shot clock, 135 on the game clock. This isn't a situation where you could hold for one, right? But if you bleed this a little bit and get one, you limit the opportunity for Islip on the other side. Good
That
stick.
pass is broken up in front, but ground ball that time by Bernardos.
Yeah, it looked like Jack Gardner got a stick on that. Great job keeping your stick in the passing lane.
Ball's loose. And it's scooped up by Kalinowski. 3 seconds to shoot.
Yeah, that's going to be a reset, though. Islip, that's a tough call there. Islip gets called for a hold. Right, good defense, right? You got your stick in the lanes, you knock one down, right? And then you send a double early, right? Jam a dodger up, put the ball on the ground. But East Islip maintains possession on the hold call.
We'll take a quick step away with East Islip comfortably in front.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
One minute left to go in the second quarter. East Islip up 9-2 over Islip, and East Islip is going to retain possession here.
Yeah, coming out of the timeout, curious to see what East Islip does here. Curious to see what their approach is. Are they going to hold it, right, bleed the shot clock down to like 15, 20 seconds before they initiate any offense, which it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. We'll see when they choose to go.
About an 8-second differential, game and shot. I feel like I'm calling an NBA game when I say that.
Yeah, but similar philosophy and approach here, right? You don't want to give your opponent too much time if you don't score on this possession.
Turn and fire that time by Kalinowski. His shot is backed up, and Hannigan is going to keep possession.
22 on the shot.
Hannigan with possession on the near side.
Yeah, watch that X cut. Good defense by Heimlich. Way to hold on to the ball by McEntee.
There's a shot and there's a save. Vitale. But East Islip keeps possession. Bernardo gets a rough ride, and we've got a flag coming in. A shot and a score, Hannigan.
Yeah.
That's a hat trick for Hannigan.
That's a hat trick for Hannigan, right? Time and room. Really good decision to let that one go. There's obviously 2 seconds left in the half. He's going to shoot that with a flag down. This will wipe out the flag. right? Bernardos runs away from the double, right? Good double by Islip, closing down space. Hannigan just steps into an open alley, right? Puts that one on the turf, uses the ground to put it in the net.
Hannigan is pumped up. Little flex job there. Hannigan.
Yeah, that's a big goal before the half with 2.7 to go. East Islip has both their wing guys on the defensive side of the wing, right, to try and prevent any quick break here by Dylan Smith. And they just tie him up at the X. Dylan Smith gets another win, but really nothing to do there with 2 seconds.
And that's going to do it for the first half. So after one half of play, East Islip leads their neighborhood rival Islip by a score of 10-2. We're back with some halftime coverage right after this on our lacrosse coverage brought to you by Lessings Hospitality.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000-square-foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000-square-foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal. Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Halftime here at East Islip High School in Islip Terrace, where East Islip leads Islip 10-2. Mike Trez on hand along with Charlie Rizzuto. And Charlie, Islip started the half keeping up the pace that they want and really sort of playing their game, but East Islip in the middle of the second quarter really just started pulling away just a little bit in this game.
Yeah, East Islip got some transition goals, right? And you go back to that first quarter, Islip was running some nice offense, hit 3 posts, got some good looks, right? East Islip got out and ran. They stuck to their identity. They do what they do. They always have the green light in transition. They were able to put some in the back of the net, and extend that lead a little bit.
Let's take a look at the way this first half unfolded in terms of scoring summary.
Yeah, so for East Islip, you got Barnados with 1 and 2, Parker with 3 and 0. You got McEntee with 2 and 2, Black with 1 and 2, Hannigan with 3 and 2, and Berlin with 0 goals, 1 assist. And then for Islip, Travado's got 1 and 0, Rayo has 1 and 0, and DeGennaro put an assist on the board for the Bucks.
For Islip, I know it's tough for them to make any real adjustments. This is how they play. But is there anything that if you were coaching this Islip squad that you could say to them at halftime right now that they would find meaningful, the kids?
Yeah, so, like I said before, for this Bucks team, you just want to keep doing what you're doing, right? I'm not going to pretend to put myself in Coach Seidel's shoes. I'm not with the group every day in practice. I'm not at every game. But for right now, you want to keep doing what you're doing. They might pick up the pace a little bit offensively, obviously, to try and dig into this lead a little bit. Maybe throw a wrinkle at East Islip that they haven't seen yet. Maybe there's something in the bag that they haven't shown on film yet to make East Islip adjust to something new. But other than that, they just got to lean on the fact that they're tough kids. They're hardworking, gritty kids. They're athletic. They're highly skilled. Just kind of lean on that and take this one goal at a time, right? There's no 8-point line in lacrosse, right? One shot isn't going to get you tied. So take it one possession at a time, string together a few stops, string together a few goals. You got Dylan Smith, who's I think like 70% at the X right now, who could get you some possessions, and just kind of stick to who you are, stick to your mantra, stick to your DNA.
We're going to take a break, and we will be back with the second half and all the action right after this. You're watching our lacrosse coverage right here on T&D Sports, brought to you by the Lessings Hospitality Group.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000-square-foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
For more than 40 years, the Post Office Cafe has been a Long Island favorite, known for its juicy burgers, signature cocktails, and welcoming staff. The Post Office is sure to deliver every time. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Start of the third quarter from here at East Islip High School in Islip Terrace. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto on hand with our T&D Sports video crew to bring you this one. Islip wins the faceoff. They're in the black. They move right to left here in the third. White House has been quiet. DeGennaro a little bit more noisy. Jack Halpin backs up with possession, now goes to work. There's a shot, and there's a save, Walendowski.
Yeah, good right-to-right split dodge there by Jake. It looks like he's looking for that backside corner. Couldn't tell if Walendowski got a piece of that, if it was blocked in front. But regardless, East Islip coming back down on offense.
Parker, what a shot that time. A rocket from Kalinowski. That rings off the post. You could hear that from up here.
Yeah, we watched a replay, right? Kick it out to the wing, steps down, hands back. Right, what I love about that shot is he gets longer through his shooting stroke, right? So you don't want to overextend. You want your hands back when you shoot, but you don't want to overextend because the only place your hands can go from that point is in. So he has his hands back, but he doesn't have them too far back. So when he rotates, he pops his back hip, he gets his back shoulder around. He could still get longer through his shooting motion and almost reach to the spot he's trying to hit on the goal.
Bernardos on the far side sends it up top to Parker. Parker lets it skip past him. A near turnover, ball still loose at the 40. And Islip comes away with it.
Yeah, that's a big possession there.
DeGennaro with possession.
Yeah, that's a good stick. Well, here comes Heimlich. Flag down, that's a slash. Good stick by Zussi on one end. Right, to kind of cause the turnover, put the ball on the ground. And then before Islip got possession, right, nice stick by McCaffrey to keep the ball on the East Islip offensive side of the midfield line prior to Islip getting possession.
Heimlich with a couple maneuvers there to draw the penalty.
Yeah, he's got 4 goals on the season. He could push in transition a little bit.
Shot, that one goes high.
Yeah, Travato loves that lefty sweep, right? You'll see him put the ball to any of the 4 corners of the goal off that shot. Looked like he was going top right there, just missed by a little bit. Islip about to go on the man up. 1 minute slash.
Jack Rayo, the Hofstra commit, he's been a little quiet as well tonight.
Yes, beginning of the third quarter, Islip's obviously looking to get their guys going, right?
Now Rayo has possession up top. White House to his right. Islip showing patience.
Yeah, flip on the wing to Travato.
Rayo still trying to scoop it. Finally he does. He loses his footing.
Yep, keeps his composure, though.
Good ball movement. The shot by Rayo was saved, Walendowski.
That's a great save by Walendowski. Rayo had that top right corner labeled. Walendowski punches his top hand over, tracks the ball the entire way, and again gets it out quick to try and generate transition.
Walendowski, a top 10 player in Newsday Lacrosse, called by, oh, there's a shot and a goal by Kalinowski.
Yeah, Kalinowski, big lefty rip right there, as you'll see on the replay. Again, time and room to step into. We have another flag down here. I didn't see what the call was. I'm not even sure if we're even at this point or not. You know, players definitely subbing. When we spoke to Coach Zumo on the phone, right, his philosophy and my philosophy, very similar. It's just simple math, right? It's easier to play offense 5-on-5 than it is to play 6-on-6. So when they're in the 5-on-5 set, or depending on substitution patterns, even if they're 4-on-4, they're going to look to generate offense off of that, right? So time, room, step down, nice rip.
Kalinowski came into the game tied for the lead on the team in goals with 26.
Yeah, it looks like the goal wiped the flag out, whatever it was. Dylan Smith with another face-off win.
Kalinowski and Bernardos were tied with 26. Kalinowski headed to Stony Brook next year to play some lacrosse. There's a shot. Kalinowski almost lets it get past him, but he keeps it out.
Yeah, he gets down on the ball quickly. Right, Dylan Smith pushing the space here, tries to put the ball down between the feet of Walendowski. You see him pop down, track the rebound, make sure there isn't one. All right, flag down. Looks like Islip's going man up again.
Walendowski's coach wondered to us on the phone if he was not the best goalie in Suffolk.
Yeah, he definitely brought that up, and he's in the conversation, right? Like Newsday top 10, right? He's got all these accolades, all these saves, high save percentage, and you could tell by watching him today he's an athletic goalie with quick hands, absolutely in the conversation for one of the best goalies on the island. All right, he's taken away a lot of angles on these Islip shooters, not a lot of net to hit, not a lot of room to shoot to.
Good ball movement, Islip. Got a whistle, we've got a push.
Yeah, it was either a push or possibly playing without your stick. That's a tough position, right? When you drop your stick, you really can't make any contact with anybody. You can't make contact with the ball. It was a good look inside by De Janeiro, right? Travado's turning left-handed, looking to get that one off quickly, right? East Islip just kind of jammed his bottom hand. Good defensive play there by the Pride defense.
Kalinowski sends it up top. Jake Berlin, who's now in at midi.
Yeah, East Islip right now in the rarely seen 1-3-1, right, because they're down one, penalty just released out of the box.
Bernardos is back on. Carries it behind.
Yep, inverting the short stick here. A lot of space above GLE for East Islip.
Kalinowski with the move, thought about shooting and backed it out. Berlin up top.
Late in the shot clock, under 10.
Berlin doubled, has to give it up. And now they turn it over.
Yeah, good defensive possession there by Islip, not giving anything up. Recognized they had short time to work with, right? East Islip not doing anything until the penalty was released.
Islip now has the right personnel on the field to go to work.
Yeah,
James, the junior.
Getting Whitehouse on here.
Whitehouse, a soccer goalie, came into the game with 33 goals on the season. Rayo with the score.
That's a great take by Real. Right, little split dodge out on GLE. Right, gets the defender to lean to the sideline, gets underneath him with just a little bit of room, leaves his feet, stays out of the crease. right? One of the best times to dodge a defender is when they're coming out at you, maybe a little bit under control, right? Another good time to dodge a defender is when they're backing away from you because they don't have their feet set underneath them, not directing you down one alley or the other, right? Rayo recognizes that, gives a jab step to his right, gets the defender who's approaching him to lean to his left a little bit, gets underneath him, leans with his feet, puts the ball right over the goalie's shoulder.
This time East Islip wins the face-off. And again, they'll employ a little bit of a different strategy here. Up 11-3 with 5:15 left in the third.
Yeah, so depending on your philosophy here, right, you're up by a decent amount. You're up by 8 goals, right, 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, right, possibly trying to shrink the game a little bit, right, limit your opponent's possessions and time of possession by using more of the shot clock maybe than they would typically use.
Hannigan already has 3, was trying to make it 4 on that play, but his shot went wide. Up top, Black. Now around the horn. McEntee. Close-in shot, and there's a score by Parker. 3 for him.
Yeah, that's Parker's third, right? We highlighted him in the beginning, right? We talked a lot about him, two-way midi. We've seen him all over the field tonight, but I'm really impressed by the freshman, Connor McEntee, how he plays with poise. He plays with his eyes up. On that replay there, I don't know how many of you have been watching lacrosse for a long time, how many of you remember Liam Banks from the old Ward Melville days, but he wore number 3 as well, right? That feed right there by McEntee, his posture with his eyes up, his chin up high, just reminded me of an old school Liam Banks feed from those Ward Melville days. So really impressed with the freshman today.
4:45 left in the third. Smith has been doing his job.
Yeah, Dylan Smith has been doing a great job at the Face-Off X today, as we mentioned before, right? Another one of those 2-sport athletes. He's going to Stony Brook to face off there for the Seawolves next year. Also an all-state football player along with Brady Nash.
Islip back on offense. Could use a quick goal right here.
Yeah, a lot of football kids on this Islip team, right? They made it all the way to the semifinals this year, led by head coach Jamie Lynch. Islip assistant lacrosse coach Joseph Sabatino also on that football staff. Coach Seidel played football at Hofstra.
DeGennaro gets a rough ride. He's pinballing around. Now the flag comes in.
Yeah, it looks like that might have been a slash. It's a little thing, but I really like the way Rayao hit his bottom hand when he was pushing there, right? A lot of pressure in his hands, aggressive defense on the corner, a little bit wider than the corner, but coming up the hash, Rayao buries his bottom hand, takes that away from the defenseman as an option to lift or get inside and pull. DeGennaro gets it up top, dodges down the middle of the East Islip defense, draws a penalty.
DeGennaro, punt returner in football, so he's not going to shy away from a little contact.
Yeah, super athletic kid, a lot of speed, does a really good job reading space. Not only was a punt returner and a kickoff returner for the football team, but opponents recognized really quickly that he might not be the kid you want to kick to. Had a couple football games this year. I think the first or second game of the year he returned 2 kicks for touchdowns, and then you didn't see many teams kick to him after that.
Islip on the man up. Let's see if they can pay it off right here. Whitehouse looking for room, gives it up. DeGennaro, save Walendowski.
Yeah, Walendowski, really nice job tracking the ball here. DeGennaro, nice step down from the outside, puts it on the ground, uses the turf a little bit. Walendowski tracks it nicely, right, gets down on it, but as the ball starts to come back up, you see his hands come up. I don't know if he got that with his butt end or his shaft or if he punched that one up in the air. Definitely got it up in the air out of bounds, right? I couldn't see exactly what happened on the end line. To me, it looked like the Islip attacker may have been closest when and where it went out, right? Officials give it to East Islip, but again, I'm at a tough angle, so I'm not exactly sure.
Parker lost his footing, but saved the possession. Down to 2:40 left in the third.
Yeah, on the call, Coach Zumo highlighted, the East Islip's DNA offensively. on playing fast. But, I'm also impressed with their ability to play at 2 speeds today, right? We're seeing a little bit of a slower pace here in the second half, right? They're kind of playing in spurts a little bit more, right? Slowing it down, then pushing matchups hard, right? But still maintaining possessions, getting good looks, throwing through passes.
McEntee was getting ready to uncork one, but it skipped off his stick. Braden Black now with possession. Another football kid. He'll be headed to Oneonta next year.
Yeah, we just talked about a lot of football players being on this Islip team, a bunch of football players on this East Islip team as well. Right, like I said before, a lot of multi-sport athletes in this game, football players, some soccer players.
Play getting a little physical to the side of the goal.
Yeah, official keeps the flag in his pocket, lets the kids play there a little bit.
Heimlich carries in and draws another penalty on East Islip.
Yeah, Heimlich pushing transition there. It looks like that may have been a hold. Yeah, the official just gave the sign. That's a hold, so that's going to be wiped out by the goal. Right, as we see on the replay, Heimlich ran through a check right before this, plays with his eyes up. East Islip defender slides upfield to stop ball. Right, he looks behind the slide to Travato, who steps in behind the slide. Right, nice poise, nice patience. Right, catches the ball right above GLE, puts it down into the goal.
So they may waive off that penalty because of the goal by Travato.
Yeah, that was going to be a 30-second hold. That's waved off with the goal. All right, so here's what we talked about, right? It's still 8, right? But Islip's got some stops, right? They've put a couple in the net.
Canfora wins the draw. And now East Islip turns it over, I should say.
Yeah, Zussi with good defense on McEntee.
Ball goes up top to Jack Rayo. Rayo stops and waits for his attack to get on.
Yeah, DeGennaro's going to come over. Halpin subs on. All right, Islip has their personnel on.
Here's Nate James, the last to sub on. Here's the shot. Save, Walendowski.
Another nice save by Walendowski. But that's really good defense and a really good approach, right, by Anthony Mariani. Kept his feet underneath him, made contact, stayed on the shooter's hips. Kind of jammed the shooter a little bit, gave the goalie a shot he wants to see.
Walendowski, as we mentioned, headed to Villanova. It's been a big week for Villanova.
Yeah. Got Walendowski coming next year. Claim to fame right now is that you got the Pope as an alumni of your school.
10 seconds left in the third.
Flag down. Looks like it's offsides on Islip.
Down to 2.5, and finally we get a whistle.
I would expect East Islip to hold this just like Islip did in the first half.
Sal Champy Field, right here in Boomer Esiason Stadium. One of the most famous alumni of East Islip, if not the most famous.
Yeah, one of the most famous alumni from just about any school on Long Island, right? Boomer Esiason. Storied career, still active, broadcasting, radio.
FAN every morning with Gio.
Yeah. I just looked up the scoreboard, so there was 2.5 seconds left. So, Captain Obvious, Charlie Rizzuto, 10 seconds ago says East Islip going to hold the ball. Right? Quite obviously they are with only 2 seconds to go in the quarter.
And that's the end of the third quarter. We'll step away and hear this message from Lessings with East Islip up 12-4 right here on T&D Sports Video.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
You have to pass this every day in your hallway at Islip High School, Charlie.
Yeah, so there's a picture of Tommy Zumo's plaque in the hallway in the main lobby of Islip High School. Tommy Zumo, like we said before, he was a lacrosse player at Islip. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was a 4-time All-American at NYIT, went on to play for the Boston Cannons of the MLL. Now he runs, the Legacy program, the Legacy Travel Lacrosse program here on Long Island, and he knows a lot of these Islip kids really well. Like he even said during our interview, he knows a lot of their tendencies. He's been coaching most, if not all, of their starters. I think he said most of their starters, right, with a bunch of kids playing through for Legacy, and he's known a lot of these kids since they were in the PAL ranks when he was on the Islip sidelines with Coach Seidel, right? Coach Zumo was part of that staff with Coach Seidel when they won the state championship here at Islip in 2018. So, earlier in the broadcast, we were talking about all the links between the two programs and how the bones of each program is similar, even though they might play at different paces. Coach Zumo, credits Coach Seidel for, teaching him a lot about, coaching and management in terms of running a program when he was an assistant for him, and has a lot of respect for Coach Seidel and the Islip program.
He feels when Islip goes up against him, they want to put one on him, but it doesn't look like they're gonna tonight as Connor McEntee puts one in instead.
Yeah, Parker gets the ball up top. Again, I've said it a few times tonight, right? Just playing with poise, keeping your eyes up. And there's another one of those skip passes that we've been talking about tonight also. McEntee just steps into a lane. Parker, throws the ball through that lane. Nice little pump high, finish low, similar to one of the other goals that he scored tonight, right? Showed high hands and a high stick and puts the ball down into the goal.
East Islip up 13-4 over Islip early in the fourth quarter here at East Islip High School. Mike Trezza, Charlie Rizzuto on hand to bring you this one.
Yeah, I think that's McEntee's third of the game now. But yeah, just to finish that point about Coach Zumo, right? Obviously, all the ties to Islip, right? But also starting, the Legacy Lacrosse program and turning out a lot of talent. A lot of kids on both Islip and East Islip are part of that program, right? My son plays in that program, and one of the reasons why we chose that program is just because the way the program is run and the respect that we have for Tommy and how he'll run a travel program and take care of the kids. So a lot of respect for him, and a lot of credit goes to him for what he's done in the lacrosse world. He's not only part of the Islip Hall of Fame, but multiple Halls of Fame, Suffolk County Hall of Fame, etc.
They double Parker. He has to give it up. Bernardos with possession. Gives it off to Parker on the right sideline. Bernardos, his shot goes wide.
Yeah, good closeout defense there by Jack Gardner, right? Couldn't tell if he got his stick in the hands of the shooter, but got his stick out in front. Started to take away some of the space that the shooter had prior to release.
East Islip gets another minute with which to work. Again, they're willing to be a little bit more deliberate on this possession, knowing that they're comfortably in front.
Yeah, again, just trying to shrink the game a little bit, limit possessions for the Bucks.
Owen Madden, he's turned away.
Yeah, Zussi getting out on them. Good shot by Madden.
Skips past Parker's stick. Loose in the neutral zone. Parker's after it, but it's going to go back over to Islip.
Yeah, on that turnover, Bernardos pushes up the hash, throws back to Hannigan, try to throw through to the backside. Couldn't connect on it.
Nash carries it in, drops it off, and gets off. Halpin now on for Islip. Down to 9.5 left in the game. Turning fire from Rayo off the side of the net.
Yeah, that was a good take by Rayo. It looks like it may have hit the right hip of the goaltender. Right, good save, right? Good positioning by the goalie. That's a good take by Rayo.
Parker, what a feed in front as he's getting checked, and McEntee scores again.
Yeah, flag down. Looks like it might be offsides on Islip. McEntee, again, he just steps into that spot, backside, right? Throw it, change sides of the field, throw across field, eyes up, throw the ball forward. Got a 2-on-1 down low. McEntee could have went backside to Bernardos there, chose to put that one away himself.
Fourth goal of the game for Connor McEntee.
Yeah, the goal wipes the flag out there also. Looks like Walendowski was just subbed off, right? One of the senior captains. Nice storyline there is, the reason why he wears number 16. It's in honor of, Christian Kohler, a 9-year-old PAL player from some years ago here in Islip. Unfortunately, he lost his life to a brain tumor. And based on the information that I have, the team each year picks somebody to wear that number 16 in Christian's honor. And Walendowski got that honor this year, and, well-deserved.
What a treat for these fans to come out on a beautiful evening like this and see some lacrosse.
Yeah, beautiful night for a lacrosse game. I know the score right now is a little lopsided, but two really talented teams that play the game the right way. Right, if you're a lacrosse fan and you're watching, schematically what each team is doing and trying to do, even if they don't execute it, you have a lot of appreciation for what both the Pride and the Bucks are doing tonight.
And you have to be hardy to be a lacrosse parent, Charlie. You have to sit out there in the rain and the freezing cold in March and April.
Yeah, I'm doing it, buddy.
We'll take a quick break.
Nestled in the heart of Islip, Bayberry is a 5,000 square foot American bistro that embodies the spirit of its seaside locale. Come enjoy the outdoor patio space, 40-seat bar, and menu from executive chef William Muzzio. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal. For more than 40 years, the Post Office Cafe has been a Long Island favorite, known for its juicy burgers, signature cocktails, and welcoming staff. The Post Office is sure to deliver every time. Use the code LI Sports to receive 10% off your next meal.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Don't forget, we've got much more action coming your way. Wednesday night, we will be up in Syosset as they take on Mepham on senior night in Syosset. And don't forget, all playoff season long, we'll have plenty of playoff action coming your way. Girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, flag football, so much of it right here on T&D Sports. I'm really looking forward to it, Charlie. I know you are too.
Yeah, so am I. We're going to have some great matchups come playoff time.
14-4, 8:15 left in the game. Our appreciation to the good folks here at East Islip for welcoming us in, and to all the parents and folks, classmates who have come out to watch this one.
Yeah, it's nice to see the students come out, to cheer on their classmates. You could see on both the Islip side and the East Islip side, a lot of high school kids, and they haven't left, right? So the East Islip fans are still here, the Islip fans are still here, right? There's no quit on either side on the field, and no quit on either side in the stands either.
East Islip still pressing the issue. Vitale still trying to keep them at bay. We talked a lot about Coach Zumo. Coach Keith Scheidel played football over at Hofstra, played for legendary Coach Joe Gardy over at Hofstra.
Yeah, Coach Seidel had a really nice football career over there at Hofstra. Right now, he's been coaching lacrosse here at Islip for a really long time. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, he has a state championship under his belt. There's not a lot of people that can say that. And not only does he have a state championship under his belt, he has a state championship under his belt playing in the hotbed of lacrosse, right? The best competition the country has to offer, game in and game out, right? 2018, a lot of really good lacrosse players on that team. Some of them just graduating college now. Some of them, graduated, in the past couple of years. Some of them getting that extra COVID year. But Coach Seidel is a really highly respected lacrosse coach on Long Island. The Islip Bucks, they're always in the mix every single year, regardless of, who they had graduated from the year before, kids coming up. They're always in the mix, and that's, a testament to Coach Seidel's leadership year in and year out.
We've got a penalty coming. And during his time at Hofstra, he played with a guy who later on became a star with the New York Jets, of course, Wayne Corbett.
Yeah, Wayne Corbett is a household name on Long Island, especially if you're around our age, right? Watching him play in Hofstra, watching him play for the New York Jets.
Thank you for making you and me the same age, Charlie. I appreciate that. There's a save.
Yeah, that's a really good shot. Looked like the keeper tracked it. That might have hit the left post. Again, Islip putting the ball on the ground. That's like their fourth or fifth post of the game.
Hilbert's now in at goalie for East Islip. Ryan Hilbert, also a senior.
Number 19, Justin Adams on the clear, another senior. There's 21 seniors on this East Islip team. They graduated a lot, of talent last year. Obviously brought a lot of talent back for this year, right? They got their eyes not only on winning another county championship, but possibly an LIC and beyond. Coach Zumo told us on the call, that this is a group that maybe had their eyes on the playoffs a little too much at some times during the season. But if that's the case, look, with one game left for them in the this is their last regular season game. Playoffs right around the corner. When I asked Coach, Zumo about their identity, he actually said that's a really good question, right? It's a team that's still kind of finding their identity, and their identity starting to surface maybe right around this time, right? After the West Islip overtime loss, they had a team meeting, and that's exactly what they talked about, right? What is our DNA? Who are we, and who do we need to be going forward? And I'll tell you what, like if this game is any prediction, and if Coach Zumo's right in terms of the fact that they're starting to, come together and galvanize who they are as a group and find their identity and their DNA, this might be the perfect time to do it with the playoffs on deck.
Coach Zumo very honest with the fact with us about the fact that he was willing to get into some of his seniors and say, "Hey, listen, I picked you guys to be the leaders. Get out there and lead."
Yeah, 21 seniors, 6 captains, right? So you have a big leadership group. But look, you don't have to be a senior and you don't have to be a captain to be a leader, right? And one of the greatest traits of being a leader is also recognizing the leadership characteristics of those who aren't named a captain, who aren't a senior, right? Everybody could lead in their own way, and that's one of the things that brings a group together.
Ball's loose, scooped up by Aiden Allen, who's now in there. But it's going back over to Islip.
Yeah, it's interesting. In the game of lacrosse, right, you could have an offensive approach, philosophy, identity. You could have a defensive approach, philosophy, identity, right? But those great teams generate that synergy between both ends of the field and kind of takes on and mixes into a team identity. I remember years and years and years ago, I was coaching JV lacrosse, and then a buddy of mine who was coaching at a local college asked me if I could go there and run their offense. And when I got there, the first thing that I noticed was there was no offensive identity, right? So that was step number one, right? Figure out what the strengths of the kids were, put together an offense that lended itself well to their strengths and how they wanted to play lacrosse, and then create an identity. And once they had that, offensively, they were basically unstoppable. The year before I got there, they scored, I think, 5.2 goals a game or something like that. That first year I was there, I think we scored 17.8 goals, right? And I'm not trying to take credit for that, but to Coach Zumo's point, once they got an identity, they had a philosophy, they had a strong approach and a belief in what they're trying to do and what we were trying to do every time they stepped on the field, everything else came, right? The goals came right after that.
Down to 3:15 left in the game. Islip trying to put another one, possibly two, on the board and come away feeling good about themselves before they play again. One last game remaining in their season. They're at Miller Place this coming Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's going to be an important game for them, right? You want to finish strong before the playoffs, right? This is a game, I mean, Coach Seidel might watch the film with them. He might not watch the film with them. But this might be a game that you just kind of put the film away and you move forward from it.
You've got a flag coming in on the far side of the field. It's going to be a delayed penalty.
It looks like that might be a slash.
Shot from Halpin went off the side of the net.
Yeah, another post there by the Bucks.
Down to 2:36 left in the game. While we've got a minute here, Charlie, let's take a look at the standings in Suffolk County, the small school division, Division 2.
Yeah, small school division, Suffolk County Division 2. Kings Park's at the top, followed by West Islip, right, who just beat East Islip in overtime, I think, last week. East Islip sitting in third, then Mount Sinai, and these Islip Bucks are sitting there in fifth, my apologies. So you got East Islip in 3, Islip in 5, West Islip in 2. The Islip's well represented at the top of Division 2.
Ball's loose in front. And as you mentioned, the playoffs start next week. I believe it's the 17th for the Division 2.
Yeah, Division 2 is comprised of, B, C, and D schools, right? So in New York State, there's classifications, right? Class A for lacrosse is the biggest schools, then Class B, then Class C, then Class D. The way Suffolk County breaks it down, Division 1 is all the A schools, then B, C, and D are all in Division 2.
So the playoffs start on the 17th of May. And these teams, again, jockeying for position. You want to get a good seed when playoff time comes. And that's what a lot of this is about here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of this is for seeding, right? Both teams are going to go to the playoffs. I think East Islip is almost as locked in as you could get on that 2 seed. But, this is a good way to finish the season for East Islip, right? Pretty much locked into that 2 seed. Islip has one more game left, right? So they want to finish strong in their last game against Miller Place, right? But for right now, right, Islip, it's an away game, right? The score didn't go the way you wanted it to. Right now it's 14-4, right? Most important things right now is how you're going to finish these last 2 minutes, right? I talked about it before. They come from a hardworking, tough, gritty community, loves to persevere, right? They take on that identity as a team. They're the same way, right? Even our producer made a comment during one of the timeouts how, Islip might be down by a bunch, but they're still diving for balls and competing. But what's the bus going to sound like? What's the locker room going to be like, and what's practice going to be like tomorrow, right, in terms of putting this one behind you, moving forward, getting ready for Miller Place in the playoffs?
As you mentioned, Islip travels to Miller Place for East Islip. This is their last game of the regular season, so they'll have a few extra days to get themselves ready for that first round matchup. They'll probably draw, let's say, somewhere around a 2-7 matchup in that opening round.
Yes, the breaks are nice, right? Depending on how long the break is, I haven't looked at exactly when they might play, but you don't want too much of a break either, right? Especially if you finish the season on a high note. You want to rest up, maybe take a day off here or there, but you don't want too long of a break either. You want to get back on the field as soon as possible.
Ball's loose on the far side. It is Dylan Paulus who's now in there, who's after it. Under a minute and a half left to play. Again, we'll be up at Syosset High School this Wednesday night at 7 as they take on Mepham in a big school, small school matchup on senior night at Syosset. Right here, we're under a minute to play.
Yeah, senior night at Syosset, right? It was senior night here at East Islip tonight, right? Honoring those 21 seniors ending their regular season career. I looked down for a second. I couldn't see what that last turnover was for. I don't think Islip was offsides. If you looked forward, they only had 6.
Ball's loose. Still loose on the far side. And finally, the Buccaneers scoop it up. Down to 30 seconds left in the game. 15 seconds. We're down to 5. And that's going to do it. Our final score here this evening, East Islip 14, Islip 4. Our producer of T&D Sports Video, numero uno, Tommy Bruno. Our technical director, Jamie the Genius Burkhardt. Our camera operators, Dave, Camera One Stempel, and the Kanga, Christian Root. Our statistician, Logan O'Hara. Outstanding job by him. For everyone here on our T&D Sports Video crew, including my partner, Charlie, the shooter, Rizzuto. This is Mike Trezor, thanking you for watching. We will see you Wednesday night from Syosset right here on T&D Sports.